And welcome to the Morning Spike. We're here to talk about all the football guys. We're finally in football season again, in the football mode. So we want to talk about all things that are going on in the NFL, talk about all things going to fantasy. I'm Brian the Grizzly here with Mark. How you doing, man?
Doing all right. Just had my cup of coffee, so
You
ready to
ready?
go. I'm ready. Yeah.
Oh man, I've been running around trying to do all type of stuff, and then I realized I looked in our description that YouTube has something spelled incorrectly in the description, and then I go on YouTube and it's spelled correctly. I'm like, dude, what's going on? You guys need to get up on your stuff.
Oh, I just fixed it.
I was like, what is this?
I had it open, and I was like, why is this misspelled? So I fixed it and saved it. Talking about
I was
full,
like, what's
coming at us
happening?
full screen, full steam.
Folk. I was like,
Yeah, I
what
was like,
was that?
FULK. Yeah, I was like, what is that? So I fixed it because I was in there.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we could finally get here and talk about all these things. The Hall of Fame game. We got 3/4 of it.
Right? Before inclement weather came in.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, it's raining. And then it was pouring actually the next day on Saturday. So they had to delay the Hall of Fame announcement, the induction.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was weird, but let's focus on the football part. Did you get to watch at least the first quarter of that game?
I just saw highlights. I was forgot about it. Basically, I got home from work, and then I did something. I got home late, and then we went to like 3 different stores before I got home, and then I finally got home, and then we were hanging out downstairs, and we had dinner, and then I got upstairs. It was like 9 o'clock, and I was like, "Oh yeah, the Hall of Fame game was tonight." And then I finally go to put it on, and it was like, "Nope, delayed." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." But I didn't get to see the highlights.
What did you see on the highlights? Like, did any of that like interest you? Anything you saw? Any standouts?
My guy's nephew, Brett Rippon, out there throwing touchdown passes.
He was ripping throws to everybody.
It's Mark Rippon's nephew.
Okay.
6-year pro. Maybe he's your new franchise quarterback. I'm just kidding. He's
not. Nah. But what he is, he might end up being the backup quarterback.
Right.
If we're going to be honest.
Yeah, he looked pretty good. From what I heard, the announcers were a little too amped. I mean, I get it, football's back, but woo.
We're here in Chicago. Are we here? And all the fans and they're like,
there was one of those touchdown passes where I feel like he was about to bust through the screen yelling. He was so happy for that touchdown. And I'm like, all right, dude, we're not even preseason technically. It's a Hall of Fame game. You chill.
I will say, it was the quarterback play was pretty good overall. There were not a lot of incompletions.
But Mills looked good too on the other side. Yeah.
Mills looked really good.
Yeah.
Why is there always a problem every year with the Hall of Fame game? Because they don't care about it, so they're not going to sit there and make you do it. They're like, we got the 3/4. That's enough. We're good. I'm not worried about it. Yes, I agree. The biggest takeaway was John.
Oh yeah, he had 2 of the touchdowns, didn't he?
Yes, and he was, I don't know, grabbing everything. Colin Johnson was actually was drafted. He is, I think he's a 4th rounder. I can't remember. I know he was drafted in 2020. I want to say he's like 6'5", like 220 pounds. Like this is a big dude. He's fast. He has good route ability. Good hands. So, as I say, he's a draft pick. This guy, but he got hurt, so he's been coming back trying to work on this game over and over, and they kept on letting him in. Man, he definitely was the best player on receiver on the field.
Do you agree?
So, I don't know. And even if he doesn't play for Chicago, even if he doesn't, he put good tape out there, and a team will take a chance on him. Because once again, I told you, he's like 6'5", 6'6", 220, 225 pounds. Like, with good hands. You take a chance on a guy like that. Don't be surprised he becomes a 3rd receiver somewhere.
Yeah, I can see it. I mean, you're not gonna let someone 6'6", or what's the worst that could happen? Oh well. I feel like the what's the word? I'm not the
competition. You say the
no,
defense.
the pros completely outweigh the cons of bringing a guy like that in.
Agreed.
Because the pros would be, oh look, we would have a 3, maybe even a 2 if he's that good. Being 6'6", you know. And then what's the con? Like, oh, it's not like we're giving him that much money.
You're not
if we need to.
You bring
there's
him
like
in.
There's like next to no cons to bring him in, but the pros are like, you could have like a star receiver almost with the way he's built. So I mean, I agree.
Yeah, B in here. What's up, B?
Hey, what's up?
Appreciate you dropping a like because I know you don't like football. You like no sports.
I know he's always in here just coming in to drop a line.
That's my boy. That's good.
The field wasn't ready last year. So, I don't even think they played the game last year, did they?
So even this year, they said that the field was terrible.
I don't even think they started the game last year. I think they all came out, the players were out there, and then they were like, nope, we're not playing on this field.
But they said even this year that the field was terrible. It was tearing up. I don't know how they don't have it ready. You know what they're going to play this game, and no one's ready. So
I'd stay and hang out, but I don't like sports, and I'm listening to
Trapped in the Closet. You're still listening to Trapped in the Closet?
He's like, got you.
Oh my goodness, he was doing that. I put a message in there like 5 o'clock in the morning. He was listening to Trapped in the Closet. I was like, oh well, I got you, B. I see you. All right. So I will say this. Other things I kind of really saw was Cam Akers played in this game, guys. Cam Akers, who used to be a starter, used to be on the Rams, was really big.
Wasn't even just a starter; he was like the man
on the Rams, and I want to say he had maybe 7 or 8 rushes, maybe like 30 yards or something like that. And I think he had a touchdown catch. I'm like, but you have Cam Akers doing that type of stuff. I'm like, that's amazing that you've fallen that far down. Because when I thought he was in Houston, that he actually might play. It's possible that he gets cut before the final cut.
Oh, maybe they won't. Maybe they're just trying to see, like, hey, go out there, show us what you got. I don't know. I thought when they brought Cam Akers in, he'd be competing with Pierce for the number 2.
Exactly, and doesn't look like that's happening.
Because I'm going to be 100% honest, after Dameon Pierce, they got nothing on that roster.
You don't know, though, because what it is when you have a...
Okay, they have nothing proven on the roster.
Yes,
they have 2 guys who
guys.
barely been able to hit the field. So,
yeah, I agree.
But it almost reminds me of, what was the Raiders? Did they put Josh Jacobs out there? Or what was it, Josh Jacobs they threw in the Hall of Fame game?
Yep. Like, what are you guys doing?
Right. You're like, excuse me? Why? He went out there, though. I mean, I don't think he played like 2 or 3 plays, but still.
Well, that's actually what I wanted Caleb to do. I wanted him to go through the motions of getting ready for a game.
He did. He came out and he warmed up. He was in uniform.
I want him going through and hand the ball.
Yeah, I literally thought he might actually get out there for a play because I was like, oh shit, he's actually warming up. He's in uniform, and then no.
No, they told us in Chicago like, no, he's not playing at all.
Oh, I know, but I didn't even think he would warm up. So
they want you to go through and getting used to it because here's the problem I have with Calib Williams right now is that he doesn't know how to run a huddle because he hasn't had to do it in over 3 years. He hasn't had to do it. So, like, you need to get him on a point where he can go through the whole calling the plays, go through a cadence, being ready for all the things, your game planning. You don't want him to even get hurt at all. The Chicago Bears said that he's only going to be out there in preseason between 45 and 50 plays. But you want to do it over multiple games to cut. You don't need him like doing all this in one game because someone can make a mistake, get hurt. But you just want multiple games of him preparing a little bit more, so the regular season isn't this daunting task when you actually have to run with a crowd going crazy, and I just wish that they did that a little bit more, but they chose what they chose. The Chicago Bears weren't ready last year for the first game of the season, got smacked by the Green Bay Packers. I just don't want it to happen against Tennessee. So.
Well, let's be fair. I don't think you're going to get smacked by the Titans. So,
hey, we didn't think we were going to get smacked by the Packers last year. We remember the Packers last year. You had no idea what they were going to be. We had no idea. Jordan Love's first game, we didn't know they had a bad preseason.
Hey, you can rewind the tape. I think I was the only one out there going, I don't know if he's going to be great, but I feel like I don't think he's going to be bad because I said Matt LaFleur has trust in him. I have trust in Matt LaFleur. I think it'll work.
I still say I got to wait a year.
Now, I didn't think you would get smacked like you did, though. No, I don't think anybody.
We were dominated. It was bad.
I don't think anybody thought that was going to happen. That was kind of like, oh.
What up? Got Tua in
there.
What
up? Born to be wild.
All right. What did you think about Jason? I don't know. You didn't see it. Jason Kelce was really interesting in the
was he in the booth?
Yeah.
Or you there before the game?
He was in the countdown. So yeah, he's actually entertaining.
You ever watched it? New Heights?
Oh yeah, New Heights. But but doing it when you're running the show is different than doing it when you're ancillary part of it. And he's good. He's entertaining.
Just watching New Heights though, he's very knowledgeable of football.
Mm-hmm.
Like when him and his brother start actually talking about football, I'm like, I'll get lost. Like the way he just like boo, boo, boo. But I mean, they've been doing it for how long? So I get it.
For 20 years of your life, you're like, I know everything to do about everything.
But they're also knowledgeable about like other positions and stuff too, though. So that's what I think is kind of cool. But again, translate, block. But I'm saying, but also defense. But that comes with blocking.
He played defense. So Jason Kelce used to play defense. Yeah. They moved him. He played defense, then tight end. Then they moved him to center. Like he played all these positions,
right?
Through all that,
I don't know. They're very entertaining.
But does he?
I would imagine it would translate decently.
It definitely did. It definitely did. I thought that he was amazing. And bring some new blood is always good. You need some new blood.
I agree.
Got Tua coming in with. Y'all see the news conference coming out on the news coming out on Bucky Irving. I pulled him and Lloyd out of my rookie draft. I feel like I'm going to get rookie return on investment I want. So I said before everyone, I wish Martin was here because I said specifically about Bucky Irving, like, dude, I don't know, man. I think he's gonna play, and he's like, I don't even know if he makes the team. And I'm like, I'm telling you, Tampa Bay needs. You have what Rashad, right? Who's great at pass catching and getting a lot of plays. I think Bucky Irving could have a really big role as the 45, 55-45. That's what I always thought. But I love him because he's from my area. I saw him play in Hillcrest, which is 20 miles away from me. So I think he's gonna play. I think he's gonna get a lot of play. So
I wouldn't be shocked either. I mean, it's another team where after Rashad White, who do they have?
Yeah, it's gonna be Bucky Irving.
Outside of Bucky Irving, I can't even name another running back on that team. So like, it makes sense. Throw the rookie out, especially if they're excelling in practice and stuff. That usually translates well to in game. So. And you don't want Rashad White taking every snap. He'll be dead 6 weeks in the season. Right. I know last year, but I don't think they want to keep that up.
And, I mean, as far as Brandon Lloyd, are you surprised about Brandon Lloyd, honestly?
No.
No, I mean, he's going to be there. He's going to be fine. So, I mean, and he's going to play. He's definitely going to play. So, I'm not surprised. So.
No.
Most players are better talking sports than playing. Well, most players understand sports. People like if you give me a play, I could tell you what the blocking scheme is going to be. I can tell you where everyone's going to go. I know what the defense is going to go, what's going to do. I know what the hand place is going to be. I could tell you how do you get to the second level. But you have to be able to do that and diagram that. But then can you actually go and do it?
Right.
That's the hard part.
Mm-hmm. But not all players can understand football. I mean, look at Jamarcus Russell.
Well, you have to try.
That's true. You got to put in some effort. I love that story. Here, did you watch the tape yet? There weren't even DVDs in the cases we gave you.
Yeah, Coach, I watched it all. I watched it all.
I was like, good. At least open it. Like, come on, man.
But I agree. But most players do know what to do. Like you've learned through Pee-wee through high school. Right. I learned more in college than I thought I knew. I thought I knew a lot in high school. I learned more in college than I ever knew I would know. Like I understand what safeties are thinking. I understand what it is to have middle of the field open. What are you looking for? Like you don't know what you know until you get to that point. And then I know they have another level of 10 years of pro, and you talking to your quarterbacks and stuff like that. Come on, man.
And they just get more and more from there.
You got your center who has to call all the plays, has to know all the protections, deciding where we're going. And you have a tight end who's your quarterback's best friend. That's just what they are. You have to know how things work, how to break down a zone, know exactly what your quarterback is doing. So yeah, I totally believe. They know more football. They probably forgot more football than we'll ever know.
Right. And then not only that, but to play at the level that some of these people play at, they gotta, not only do they have the talent, but they're putting in the effort in film rooms and learning not just what they do, but what other people do. Because then that's how you can anticipate. That's how you can, and that makes you even better. Plus, it helps you with your teammates too. Like, I already know what he's going to do. I don't even have to look. Boom.
That's exactly it.
Mahomes, instinct. Yeah, just
Mahomes is instinct. One of the most. Well, they say he goes out with people. He's studying his plays the whole time. He's still going over film the entire time. So I mean, that's cool. I really like.
Same thing with like Peyton Manning. You used to hear the stories about how people would show up to the facility and he's already watching film, and then people would be like, "I'm leaving." He's back in there watching film. Like he's just always watching film.
I think Peyton Manning probably had headphones when he goes to sleep so he hear him play.
right. Just right. I wouldn't be shocked either. But that kind of hard work, as you see, can translate on the field. Peyton Manning, historic career. Patrick Mahomes, well on his way to a historic career.
I mean, he could retire right now and be a Hall of Famer.
Oh, for sure.
That's nuts.
Not just a Hall of Famer, but he could retire right now and he'd be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
And he'll be a top 20 all-time quarterback already. That's crazy. I wish Martin was here too. He's been talking mad trash
about this running back class.
He has been.
He always does. That's Martin.
They're terrible. They're not even gonna be good in there. Oh, you talking about the one the Oregon Duck Bucky? You talking about Lloyd running back? Yeah. You know what? But Oregon running backs are good.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that you're gonna have
Gary Blunt, or decide to punch somebody.
I think we're gonna have 6 running backs out of this class that are gonna do well this season.
I think as a whole, it's not good, but I still think you'll see 1, 2, maybe even 3 people will kind of come. Now, will they have sustained success in the NFL? I'm not 100% sure.
I think,
but you'll show some people with some flashes. Just because someone's going to get hurt, they're going to have to throw somebody out there.
No, I mean, you're not wrong. I look at even the Jets. What was it, Braylon Allen? I think Braylon Allen's going to get some run. He's a little bit different. He's different, so than Breece Hall. So you're going to end up putting him in because you're going to notice that he can do some things. I agree, but I got some diamonds. I already got Breece, James Cook, and Chase Brown. I'm content. Chase Brown, for everyone, look, I'm telling you, if you guys doing redraft leagues, what I'm hearing is Chase Brown's going to have an amazing year.
Yeah, he's taking all the reps as RB1 in Cincy. So
I mean, all of them. And Chase Brown is he number one all-time leading rusher in Big Ten history? He's way up there. Chase Brown left Illinois with like all the records. The dude is good. He said for $1. He got him for $1. Yeah, I know. I remember you telling me that. Yeah. Chase Brown has been good. I mean, even coming out of Illinois, I'm telling you, the dude was amazing. He has all the records. So don't be surprised if Chase Brown runs for 1,100 yards and get you 8 touchdowns. Just saying. Don't be surprised. That's where it ends up. And if you're doing that and you're basically doing exactly what Joe Mixon did.
Except for not getting hurt. Not getting hurt.
Without getting hurt. Exactly.
Oh, the one thing about Joe Mixon. Like, I know Martin hated him, but I feel like that's just because he would get burned by him. Because he would finally get him and then he'd get hurt. Like the one year he had Christian McCaffrey, got hurt. So I think that's what. But I always thought Mixon was a good running back. Like, I like Mixon. Like the way he ran, like the way he would run the ball was like he would run it angry. He's like, I'm gonna come right at you. I'm not scared to get hit, and he would make it work. He would get the touchdowns. He would get the yards. But the problem with him was he would just never. Like, he always had that. Will you get hurt?
Like, yeah, but Joe, even these last 2 years, he's been doing okay. He only get hurt for a couple games. All running backs.
What was it? 2 years ago, I think he played the whole season, and he actually was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then even last year, I think he only missed like a game or two.
Yep, I think it was a game and a half.
Yeah, game and a half. Like he left at halftime and then came back a game later. Yeah. So even then, like, so that's what I said. Like, it looks like but now he's getting to the point where he's 28, 29. So now you got, but because of the injuries, the wear and tear isn't quite there. So
yeah, I think he's gonna have a really good year this year.
I think this year, maybe next year. But then after that, he might start taking.
Yeah, you probably should look for someone else.
Yeah, for sure. Also, it depends on how much the Texans commit to the run, too.
I think they will because you don't want CJ Stroud to get hurt. So we give him an opportunity.
It's true. I'm just worried because they have all those receivers to feed. So
he only threw 23 touchdowns last year. So they ran the ball even a lot last year.
Well, I think you do that with a rookie, but now that he's kind of maybe they still.
No, you still give him again because you have it. You do it. So when you say diamonds, we're talking about jewelry store, or we talking about middle of the mall stands. And he says, "I'm talking to one straight out of the mines. Like he just went chiseled, like one of the 7 dwarfs went high ho, chiseled it down and brought it in."
I know. I think I got one of the good running backs that are coming out this year too. So I was able to get Trey Benson. He's the one.
Trey Benson. That's a store diamond.
Yeah.
That's a store.
And then I like I told Martin, and then I also got what's his name from Michigan, which I'm like, he'll have one good year.
No, I think
and then the Rams will shut him down. Blake Corum, that's his name.
Blake Corum's going to be. I don't know. Blake Corum he gets hurt, but he has a nose from the end zone. I think he plays in the NFL for 4 or 5 years. Plays well.
I'm just saying, but only like 1 or 2 with the Rams because you know how they like to. Oh, he did really good. All right, you're good. We got the best out of you, so we're going to ship you out now, and then we'll just bring somebody else in because we're just a factory that just keep. I told Martin like 4 or 5 years in a row they have not had the same running back the next season. Like it's been insane.
Yeah, but Henderson was never supposed to be there.
I know. He only was there because Cam Akers got hurt. But
he said Blake Corum is a lab grade diamond. He was created in the lab. Exactly.
Right. I mean, they had like, you know what's crazy? I found this out. If we're talking about running backs. So like, what's his name? That one running back just retired at like 28. And then Derrick Henry's 29. You want to know how old Todd Gurley is?
27.
He's 29. He's 28, 29. Still. And he hasn't played in how long?
But Todd Gurley still has he's probably still top 10 for most touchdowns scored in the last decade.
But
he's still that.
I was like, God, Todd Gurley's only 29.
Well, he already had like 7 knee surgeries by the time he got there.
I feel like he's been out of the league for 5 years.
He scored a lot of touchdowns, very, really, really quickly. So
I was like, good Lord.
That's what I mean. You're gonna pay for it. If you're gonna score all those touchdowns, you're gonna pay for it.
Yeah, but I think he also started like when he was 20, which probably didn't help matters. I think he was like 20 when he got drafted.
Because he had to, because he already had all those knee surgeries.
Mm-hmm. But hey, when he was in his prime, he was good.
He was better than good.
He was like the best.
So do y'all think they'll make running back series on Netflix like they have for quarterback and wide receiver?
It's probably in the works, I'm sure.
So I know I was listening to the radio, and they're going to do a season 2 of receiver. They're definitely going to do that, and then they're going to see if they're going to go to another position group. But running back makes a lot of sense. I think they go to defense though.
Oh, edge rusher, maybe corner. Corner would probably make for some good entertainment. Get some get some Sauce Gardner, Jalen Ramsey.
I think those guys would be really interesting.
You're right.
The showrunner.
Okay. Come on now.
Think this is going to be Justin Tucker? Hey, apparently this guy we got in Chicago, the punter, is amazing, and they love him.
There you go, DBs. See,
they love the
attention. Yep,
they do.
What we were saying.
And what she does is every year she goes, the showrunner goes to a team that for Hard Knocks, and then they use one of those key players to be one of the key people in the series. So that's why if you notice, Amon-Ra St. Brown was really prevalent in the receiver show, and that's because they had a really good relationship because they just did the Lions. So wherever it is, so they're in Chicago. So DBs could be in Chicago because you could take, maybe you do Brisker or Jalen Johnson as one of the DBs.
We weren't even talking about safeties either. Throw some Kyle Hamilton in there.
Kyle Hamilton would be amazing because he's different. So you get these different guys. Maybe you go Devin and in Seattle. Someone like that always makes plays. I think that would be great. That's a good idea. Patent pending.
Right.
Okay. So that was the game. What about the whole Hall of Fame ceremony? I know it was weird because of the rain. You didn't give to get all the stuff you really wanted. But I think it still was really special. I mean, seeing Dwight Freeney, Devin Hester, and Andre Johnson, who was one of my favorite players. I mean, my favorite player of all time is Julius Peppers. All time is Julius Peppers.
Oh, I love Julius Peppers, and his shout out obviously for Michael Jordan.
Exactly. But even seeing Patrick Willis again is weird,
Right.
And then Mondo, I am so happy.
Steve McMichael.
Yeah, Mondo is getting his chance to be in the Hall of Fame. First of all, a defensive tackle to not have 92 sacks is ridiculous. 92 and a half sacks is ridiculous. And the fact that he had to wait this long to get into the Hall of Fame, knowing he has, ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, and he's literally deteriorating. He couldn't even make it to Ken. But what they did is they went, his teammates went and drove to Ken, got his jacket, drove back to Homer Glen, presenting it to him, showed him his bust, and it took.
They brought the bust too. Yep.
And then took it back.
The bust with the flowing locks.
Oh, I thought that was so special. I really enjoyed it.
We both clicking on it.
Yeah. I Reggie Wayne night. It's gonna happen. I mean, as I said, Stephen McMichael had to take. He finished playing in 89, 90, no 91. We played 1 year with the Green Bay Packers in 91. Really? It took that long?
God, he went from the Bears to the Packers.
Yeah, he always says he knew he was done playing, so he went and stole some money from Green Bay.
All right, I can put it that way.
That's what he said. He said, I would stole.
You gotta endear yourself to the Chicago fans. So I like it. I like it.
He's like, I stole money for them. I brought it back here because I came back home. 1 year. But I mean, Julius Peppers did it. Julius Peppers played 4 years for the Chicago Bears and then went to finished his career over there in the Packers.
That's a little different. It's not like he played his entire career with Chicago because he started with the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
You had to go real far. You had to go from Chapel Hill to Charlotte.
Yeah.
Although I had no idea that he only went to North Carolina because of Michael Jordan. No idea.
He was a player though. You know. I love Julius Peppers in high school. In college because he was an amazing basketball player.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he played both. Yep.
Out of the gym. Like I like Julius Peppers more than I like Vince Carter and Anton Jameson. Like Julius Peppers was that dude, you know. And then he became a 300-pound sacking machine. You know, which made me love him more.
You think maybe he was like, play basketball, then I gotta watch what I eat, and I can't do this, or I could play football and I could just eat whatever I want.
I think as a basketball player, he would have been drafted and he would have been like just a rotation guy. As a football player, he would be one of the greatest defensive ends of all time.
Which is what he was. So good choice on you, Julius. Good choice on
you. But I mean, even when we talk about Patrick Willis is really.
I was excited he got in. I loved watching him play.
He played 8 years?
And he only played like he walked away early.
And he all those years were the greatest years. I've never seen a middle linebacker do the things that he could do.
That's why I hate that you got the Chargers middle linebacker, because his coach for most of those years was Harbaugh. I wanted him so bad.
Works off of me, Colston. Let's go.
Right? Colston, yep, that's it. And then he gets the same coach too in the NFL. That's crazy. And of course, can't understate what Devin Hester meant to the Bears.
Devin Hester.
He's the sole reason you made it to the Super Bowl in 2000.
If we had kickoff rules like this now for Devin Hester would set the all-time touchdown record for anybody. You could not, if you have to kick the ball down, you would have like 30 touchdowns. You would never be able to stop him. You just be like, all right, well, this is stupid for us.
Right. Then the other team would be implementing, all right, you know what? You're a defensive end, just get out there and kick the ball. Because we need more tacklers out there. Or maybe not even defensive end. It'd be like a linebacker.
You have to go safety. You need a safety that's going to run.
Safety. Yep, a safety.
Free run. Because if he gets a step, it's over.
So. You're going to start seeing like actual starters out on the special teams.
If I was
Hamilton, I need you out there to tackle that guy, because every time we score, they just go right back.
Just kick it out of bounds. Give him the ball at the 35-yard line. Kick it out of bounds. Who cares? I am not kicking it to him ever.
Right.
So I thought that was awesome. But I think someone who got lost in the shuffle. We talk about Reggie Wayne, but Andre Johnson was the best receiver, most physical receiver I saw. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone more physical than him. Him and Anquan Bolden. Those are the two guys.
I was going to say Anquan Bolden would be the same. But Andre Johnson did it being like 6'4".
Yeah.
Like,
and beautiful catching the ball, unbelievable. I love.
Like, I don't know if I ever met a receiver, outside of obviously like the greatest of all time, like Jerry Rice and all them. But like in my time watching football, I don't think I ever saw a receiver where if you were lined up one-on-one, it didn't matter where the ball was, Andre Johnson was going to get it. Didn't matter who was guarding him.
Catch with one hand, it's over.
Doesn't matter. You could have had Darrelle Revis on him. If he's one-on-one with Darrelle Revis, and Andre Johnson's going to win it.
To take it to the house. You might as well just say house call.
Yeah.
I mean,
except for maybe Calvin Johnson, I guess. He also played around the same time.
Yeah, but Calvin
Johnson, wasn't as physical.
Exactly.
I was watching some replays. I was watching some replays of Calvin Johnson where like they're on the goal line and you just see like 4 people go over to Calvin Johnson.
It doesn't matter because he could jump higher. He's faster. He's bigger. He's everything.
But I feel like Andre Johnson would get that same treatment though. Like, that's what I said. Outside of maybe those two, there's no other receivers.
I don't want to get out of here without saying something. Shout out to at least Dwight Freeney.
Another. I liked watching Dwight Freeney play too.
I always felt like he was. This is weird, but he was smaller, right? So it's like watching Rudy. He's fast and he's unbelievable. He's just determined to get there. But like in his spin moves or his counter off the spin move, dude. I
don't think spin moves were as relevant in the NFL until Dwight Freeney got in. Like you saw him here and there, but like without Dwight Freeney, there's no TJ Watt. That's what TJ Watt does all the time.
Do you ever try to?
He has a side step, but he does that.
There's no way.
I'm gonna tear my ACL if I try to do that. My foot's gonna plant and it's just gonna stay there. And I'm gonna turn and I'm gonna be like, "Oh, that's not good." It's insane what he used to do, and he was so fast.
Playing with Peyton Manning, that was just
Robert Mathis on the other side. Those two were scary.
Like you knew you only had 2 seconds. That was it.
Well, you knew if you were a quarterback, like Tom Brady was probably the best at this, but stepping up in the pocket is what you had to do because they're going to come for you on the outside.
All the coach needed to do was spend money on getting a 3 technique. That's what they needed to do. Imagine if they had those two and DeForest Buckner at the same time.
Right? Oh, man.
Just imagine that.
That would have been one of the best defensive lines, man.
Oh, my goodness.
Hands down. Like, I remember watching Robert Mathis and Dwight Freeney. I was like, God, defensive line is scary.
What you guys saying? Looks like Patrick Willis lost weight. He looks like a regular person.
Yeah, that's usually what happens when they stop playing. I mean, look at Kelsey already. He's freaking stopped playing. He already looks super skinny.
But he had to eat just to be that guy. He was never a real center.
Oh, I know.
He
had to force his way into that weight.
So I'm regularly 240. This is what I am. Yeah. Just like Jeff Saturday. Yeah. Stop playing. He like immediately.
Yeah.
Gone. Like you lost half yourself. So Anthony says, so is the kickoff rule you kick in between the goal line and 20, but if you kick it in the red zone, you start at the 30? So it's okay. So yes. So if you kick into the end zone and it's touchback, it's at the 30. If you kick out the back of the end zone, I think it's the 35 or 40. The 35. And then if you kick it out of bounds, it's the 40. And if you kick it and it lands before the 20, it's also basically kicking out of bounds.
Yeah, that's another 40.
You get at 40.
Yeah.
So you have to get between the 20 and the goal line. And if you kick it in the end zone and it stays in the end zone, that's fine. It's 30. But if it kicks out the back of the end zone, it's 35. That's a lot of different rules. It feels very gimmicky to me.
Yeah. I don't know. I watched the opening kickoff, and I was like, and I know this was their intention, but I was like, man, this is really slow moving. Because you just see them, and then all of a sudden there's like,
it was it's weird because I can see why it's hard to. You only have 5 yards to engage. So kick the ball, right? And then you have 5 yards to engage with the guy, and that means the guy catching the ball and running. Most likely, the defensive guy already got rid of him. So you're running into like a pile of people. The only thing is I think what the teams are going to do is their backup linemen. Your backup linemen are going to be on your kickoff team.
Yep.
I think they're going to run plays like traps.
And you're going to run right into the closer to where those guys are.
And then what you do is you have the people that are there because they're only 5 yards apart. You have the people when you're kicking off, have them run back 5 yards, touch the line, and then come back and hit the play. So now you're giving them more time before they engage, and then you run like a trap play or a pulling guard and go and create a hole. But I don't think the teams wanted to show what they could do with this kickoff rule, so that's why it looked so messy.
Yeah, it's not very often you have two great ends on the same team.
I mean, great.
Now, according to Madden, the Steelers have 2 of the top 10.
Stupid.
Sounds like we're going to have a high school scoring games this season. I mean, you might not be wrong.
Oh, wait, we're going to have high scoring games this season. I really do. I think that if this kickoff rule really works, especially the caliber of athletes that are in the NFL, like I don't think anyone really understands how athletic these guys are. Like when you see 315-pound men running sub 4 640s, right? And then they can do cartwheels and backflips.
Right.
Like I don't think you really gauge how athletic these guys really are.
Here's something for you. I was just thinking about it. Could this new kickoff rule negatively impact defenses? Because if someone has a long drive on you and then you go to kick off and your kicking team takes it to the house, oh, wait, we're back on defense again if we don't stop the other team from kicking off. Like, defenses could get tired quick.
Especially if your starting defenses are on your kickoff team.
And yeah, exactly. And then if we're starting to put these starters on the kick team because you want to stop them.
But I think you're not going to see the starters as much until at the end of the game. But I think you'll see the immediate backups will be on the team. Like you'll see immediate backups, like guys who get in the game are going to be on that kickoff and kickoff return team.
Because I already heard that was one of the criticisms by people, or like people are going to lose roster spots because, like, usually the kickoff you could make a team by being like, hey, I'm on the special teams. But now with the new kickoff rules and needing to stop people, they're going to go like, oh, we're going to go 3 deep at middle linebacker, or we're going to go 6 deep at safety because, and then some of these other people.
But that might not work because if you run linemen defense, it might actually work better because if you put 3 offensive linemen out there, all of a sudden, you know, safety's going to get that butt whooped. They're only 5 yards apart. Like,
right,
put a guard out there. They'll kill you.
Well, I'm just saying, but like some of these other guys who used to be like 4-string running backs or
I think more running backs will
receiver.
Well, and you don't think that?
Well, I'm talking about like more like blocking people though.
Yeah, no, I think blocking receivers will probably take a hit. You're right.
That's what I'm saying. Like blocking receivers, like, oh, it's my 7th receiver, but because he was so good on special teams, I'm going to keep him on there.
Brown.
We're gonna get tight ends that can just block. We're gonna get more offensive linemen, and
you don't have to worry about them running far. They're not running. Their speed no longer matters. It's about their quickness.
And not only that, it just matters just to block the guy that's coming at you.
And as it said, they're 5 yards away. So you engaging on blocking someone, you're not going to be able to engage with them longer than 2 seconds. That's why I say you have to now force your line to run backwards and then hit them because that allows time for the engagement. And if you get the timing right, any play, if you get the timing right and you block it right, it's going to be a touchdown. I think that's what we're going to see.
That's interesting. Some people are going to be losing jobs.
Well, they already did that with the whole preseason stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true, too.
When you lose the preseason games, all these guys who are good football players, you don't get to see them. I'm good at football. I'm not good at running, these routes. If I were to a small school and, the opportunity for me to show what I could do in training camp or in preseason games just aren't there. You're going to have to wait 4 years to be able to show someone, right? Just like we just saw with Johnson. So Calib Johnson had to wait 4 years of doing this stuff, even though he got hurt, to show what you could do. Because you don't get the opportunity. You get hurt, you're out.
Right.
No matter you draft in the 4th round or not.
So that brings me to another thing I wanted to talk about, because I watched Aaron Rodgers talking about this, and because they were asking him, like, at this point in your career, do you hate, training camp and preseason and all that? And he goes, what are you talking about? He said, this is the easiest training camp from preseason's ever been.
Yeah.
It's true, because he goes, back when there was 4 preseason games, you used to play the first quarter of the first game, up to the second quarter of the second game, and then into the third quarter of the third game, and then you would sit out. He goes, I don't play in any preseason games now. And then he said, training camp? I don't do anything in training camp. The only thing I have to do is go through boring meetings all the time. He's like, we don't do anything.
And now that they have that ramp up period,
we don't even do 2-a-days anymore. Yep. He goes, so now the only thing, he's like, it is a bit of, take a little stress on the mental side of things, but he said physically, I don't do anything. And he said he was old. Well, there's that too. But he's just saying, like, but that's how it is. That's how it is across the board, though. He goes, most people, if you're good, you're not going to play in preseason. He's like, they're not going to exert you in practice anymore because they don't want you to get hurt and then, wear and tear you before the season even starts. But he said, I remember when I was a rookie and we were getting busted 2-a-days almost every day. And he was like, I almost preferred it that way.
Well, I think what's really going to take
so he started his new slogan, make football hard again.
That's a problem. I don't think you wear that on a t-shirt.
Right.
I think the people that really get hurt the most are offensive timing, right? Offensive people's timing, and then defensive tackling because they don't tackle anymore.
Right. That's what I said. I thought like coming in the gates, like you see how sloppy offenses are week one. Like I feel like week one is the hardest week to try to pick winners because, like we said, no one's playing.
Mm-hmm. You don't know. You don't also don't know if the team in front of you that might be good is prepared for the season.
And I feel like it translates week one. Like week one to me every year, I'm like, I feel like this team should win, but wouldn't be shocked if they didn't because you never know.
That's the best time for a bad team to make it get a win. All of a sudden, Carolina starts the season off 1-0.
Right. Right. I don't know. I just thought that was an interesting thing because I'm like, it is true. Football has changed a lot.
I mean, 2-a-days is one thing, but like you can't hit. You thud most of the time. You're wearing those big old things on your head,
which you can wear in game now.
But you only could tackle so many practices. I think you only can hit full pass like 11 practices during the entire training camp. And then that's all you have. You have to spread them out. It's a weird thing, and it's not necessarily the football I grew up with, but it might be good. It might be good for a reason. So I'm whatever. But
I don't judge it that way, but I'm just saying it's a lot different than what I grew up with, which is the same thing with you. Yeah.
We used to. I'm in high school and college. We used to do 2-a-days, 3-a-days. Wait up at 5 o'clock, then do it again at 3 o'clock, and then I see you at 7 o'clock. That's what it was.
Yeah.
All right, so we got preseason 1 this week. Thursday is going to be Carolina against New England. Ugh, that sounds awful.
Winning game. I'm so excited for that one.
And then we got Detroit at New York, the Giants. First time to see Malik Neighbors, see Brian Burns. Detroit, I don't know they're going to play a lot of their people the first week, but, probably get out there for 1 or 2 series and then get out. Then Friday, we have Atlanta and Miami. Then Houston at Pittsburgh. And then Philly at Baltimore.
Philly at Baltimore should be interesting.
We got Saturday, we got Washington at the Jets. And that's where I saw Anthony talking about, I don't want to see Jaden Daniels play the whole first quarter.
But see, that's where I'm torn. Like,
he needs to play.
But he needs to play. Like, the more he plays in preseason, the more he'll be ready for the regular season.
You have to go out there. He has to call plays.
He's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not, a 40-year-old quarterback who's been in the league for 17, 16 years.
Exactly.
18 years. He's a rookie. He needs to get out there. And even if it's not the best of competition because it's preseason, it's still NFL competition.
You need to get out there. You need to hand the ball off, get used to the speed of the game. And you need to throw a couple of throws. He needs to come out throwing the ball 7 times. The entire time. 7 throws. Hand the ball off another 10 and get out of there. Give him less than 20 plays in this first game, but he needs to get out there. Yeah, and he'll probably play 2 drives. Exactly. That's what we think. Well,
let him play 2 drives, hand it off. Hopefully, you get some first downs. Hand it off a couple times. Throw the ball a few times. Get out of there.
Yeah,
and then we can see what Marcus Mariota is all about.
And then you introduce him to Austin Eckler and say, "Hey, throw him the ball when you're in trouble. Just throw him the ball."
Right.
And then we got Chicago at Buffalo. Vegas at Minnesota. Green Bay at Cleveland. Tampa at Cincinnati. San Francisco at Tennessee. KC at Jacksonville. Seattle at the Chargers. and New Orleans at Arizona. Then on Sunday, we have 2 games still. So all those games are Saturday. And then we have 2 games on Sunday, Denver at Indianapolis and Dallas at Los Angeles Rams.
I think that Dallas at Rams game's on ESPN. I think.
I thought they're both on NFL Network, but they probably could be on ESPN too.
Well, I do know like they pick one random, maybe it's one of the Thursday night games. I don't know. They do pick a random game every week in prime time-ish.
Yeah.
Because they let the announcers practice too, you know.
Because that's why we got fake to have all this excitement with NFL football. All right.
Yeah, that Hall of Fame game announcer was.
So I did it.
I'm like, I get it. Football's back. But jeez. Just Brett Rippin, man. Just Brett Rippin.
I said Rippin to Colin Johnson. That's what we got. Man, I am excited about all this stuff. But there's one other thing that I want to talk about before we get out of here. No one's almost at the hour mark. But starting Tuesday, Hard Knocks. Chicago Bears Hard Knocks starts Tuesday. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about seeing what happened with even this game. Showed, did Calib Williams want to play? Is Colin Johnson someone that we're going to follow? Is Taylor that good of a punter that he's doing things that trick punts? I want to see all of it. I want to see everything. I want to see the inside my team. I'm excited because the Chicago Bears is the NFL franchise. When you think of the NFL, there's only a couple teams that you think about. Think of the Bears, think about the Packers, think about the Giants. Those are, and then whoever's good at the time. So it's New England and Dallas. Those are the teams that like those are. I
never think of the Giants. Why?
But I know you hate the Giants.
Besides, the Cowboys would be ahead of the Giants. What? No.
Now
Cowboys are America's team.
Sure. That hasn't won in forever.
I know. But fortunately, they won 3 since we won 1. So, man, everybody in my division's won a Super Bowl since we won 1. That's hard.
Well, I've never seen us win a Super Bowl, even though we're still tied for second for all time winning championships.
2. I was like 2 or 1.
It's so
when
bad.
You won it.
That's sad. Oh my God. So sad.
It's all right. We're going on Tuesday.
That's
surprising. We're going on 30 years since my team's won 1 too, so don't worry.
So that's what we're actually going to do, though. So on Tuesday, I'm going to watch Hard Knocks, and then I want to talk about Hard Knocks on the Panda Grizzly show, especially because there's no tank. So I'm just going to figure it out.
You're just going to air the Hard Knocks episode. All right, here's the episode of the Bears show.
I wish we could.
Sure, you get copyright stricken and whatnot, but
they're just going to pull it off. They'll just stop it.
Well, you're like, it's a Bears show. It's all about the Bears. Come on. I want to take 4 weeks off. No,
how many of the original NFL teams can you name? And to help you out, I don't know if there's any. There's one. Almost all of them started in Chicago, but in the Chicagoland area. So I'll give you one: Chicago Bears.
Well, if it started in Chicago, unless it Cardinals.
Cardinals were also in Chicago, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're the Arizona Cardinals, but they started Chicago Cardinals.
Well, they went from the Chicago to St. Louis to Arizona. Then I know they've been around for a minute.
We have, I believe, the Chicago Tigers. I think that's what it was.
Is it the Chicago Tigers?
And then there was another Chicago team. I can't see it. I can't find it. But I know there's another Chicago team. But yeah, Chicago Tigers. And then, Rock Island Independence.
Oh.
Yeah.
You think I'm going to name that? I've never heard of that before,
No, you're not going to be able to name any of these. Like the Hammond Pros, the Muncie Flyers, the Rochester Jeffersons, Detroit Heralds.
Wow. Yep, nope.
Dayton Triangles. They're named the Triangles.
Oh, I want an NFL team called the Triangles now.
The Canton Bulldogs, and then the Cleveland Indians.
I was going to say Cleveland, but I wasn't going to say the Browns because I didn't think it was the Browns. But for some reason, I was like, I feel like Cleveland had an original team.
So Buffalo, Cleveland, Chicago, Arizona are all like original teams.
Man, that whole Bengals-Browns thing is interesting. Oh, Paul Brown was like, I'm going to go to Cincinnati now. See you guys later.
Unbelievable.
Like, I started the Cleveland Browns, but I'm going to go over here now.
I'm moving, and the team's going to move with me.
Yeah, and the team's going with me. But here, you can still have the Cleveland Browns stuff. And then the freaking Bengal Stadium's been called Paul Brown Stadium for how long? Paul Brown.
Paul Brown Bengal Stadium. Yeah. The Browns got
that also blew my mind because for the longest time I had no idea why it was the Cleveland Browns. And then I was like, oh, because Paul Brown.
Yep.
That's how ego much.
Hey, it's my team.
Start an NFL franchise. What do you want to name it? Oh, we'll go with the
Call
Browns.
them the Meads.
Yeah, the Meads. So, but I don't know. I just thought that was interesting.
Anthony says, thinking caps on, guys. Knowing the coaches in the scheme, what team will be the first to return a kickoff?
Interesting.
That's good.
I'll say there'll probably be one in the Chiefs-Detroit game. Not Detroit, Chiefs. Who are the Chiefs?
Baltimore.
Baltimore. Yeah, Baltimore. Yeah, there we go. Look, one of those two. They trot Lamar out there to return a kick, you know?
I think it's going to be I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons. I think Atlanta Falcons will be the first one to kick off. Yes, return a kick.
Who's even returning kicks for them?
I would guess is what's his name? Oh no, it's actually Ray McLeod, really.
Yeah. Well, I'd say maybe the Steelers because they got Patterson.
Patterson would be a good answer.
Yeah.
Steelers would be a good one. I think Steelers that works. I'm gonna go Steelers. Yeah, I'm with you.
Take mine then. Okay.
I'm with you. That makes sense. Same game.
Game. I was gonna say they are playing the Falcons. That's why you said the Falcons, and I was like, please don't say Patterson because he's on the other team.
So Braden got them all. Okay, so Ohio, the Akron Pros, the Canton Bulldogs, the Cleveland Tigers, Columbus Panhandlers, and the Dayton Triangles.
Oh my God, I want the Columbus Panhandlers. Put them back.
Then we got Chicago Tigers, Decatur Staleys, the Racine Cardinals.
Muncie Flyers.
So the Decatur Staleys are the Chicago Bears. Because Staleys are Bears. Right? Indiana Hammond Pros and the Muncie Flyers. And then we have the Buffalo All-Americans and the Rochester Jeffersons. And Detroit had Detroit Heralds from Michigan.
That's crazy.
That's all Midwest. That's what we all.
Yeah, it's where football started. I mean, Canton has the freaking Hall of Fame. So.
And you know what I got from that? All that I read, F the Green Bay Packers. There we go. That's what I got from that.
That's funny.
They didn't come to it 2 years later. F y'all.
Right.
Don't like it. That is great. All right. We got to our hour mark. That's all we need to have for today. I cannot wait till Tuesday because I said Hard Knocks. We talk about Hard Knocks. We'll go over the game in more depth. Talk about Colin Johnson. Is he going to make the team? And little things that that happen during Hard Knocks. So I think in Chicago is going to be really interesting. I think they're going to be talking about the stadium a lot. So I cannot wait for Tuesday. And then Wednesday we'll have the Dynasty Pilot. We'll decide what we're going to do. We're going to release the video for our 400 subscribers. So you guys got to start looking for the video. You need to make sure you do the hashtag that we mentioned in the video. Like and subscribe, and we'll be giving away another jersey. It's this nice stitched jersey. It'll be the number 7. Say Dynasty Pilot on the back, and you'll be able to pick your team. So we'll have all that coming out this week. And of course, we get to next Sunday on the morning spike, where we actually will have real games going on. We'll have to get off by 12 to watch the football games.
You know what's funny? As I was going to bring that up today, I'm going to be like, hey, we only have like 4 more weeks to get this whole scheduling thing down before we're going to run out of time really fast. Getting on at like 11:30, almost noon. Be like, yeah, we're going to run out of time before games start.
Hey, right now, if we stop right now, we will have half an hour for the game next week.
That's true, yeah.
That is the plan. That's what we're going to do. Thank you guys all for being in the comments. Thank you guys for joining the show. And guys, we'll see you all next week. Make sure you come in and visit us. Make sure you hit that bell notification know when we're going live, because we're always late. Except on Tuesday, because it's me.
It'll be scheduled, but don't think we're going to go on that time. Very rarely happens.
All right, guys. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yep. Later, guys.